consultant I'm a consultant Mahmoud Lubani, consultant cardiothoracic surgeon in Hull in the UK, and honorary professor of cardiothoracic surgery as well, and president of PALMED Academy. And I welcome everybody and every that has joined us this evening, and everybody that had volunteered to be part of this scheme who cannot join us this evening. This is an initiative to support the medical students in Gaza, who we all understand are under terrible conditions and in a terrible situation. We will conduct the meeting in English, as there are people who, as Arabic is not their first language. Please stay muted when you're not speaking, so that there'll be no disruption to people speaking. We will start by doing just a round of introductions so people know who. No. Okay. So we'll keep moving, I think, in the interest of time. So, Dr. Lubna, can you share your slides?
Yep, thank you so much for having me here. And I'm actually humbled by the response that we have and the team and everybody that's joined. So what we're going to do today is talk through what we've been talking behind closed doors for a while now. So we thought we'd bring it to the platform so we can actually gauge your opinions and your feedback and your commitment to this. So as I said, I'm Dr. Lubna, family medicine consultant from the UK, and have been in Doha for the last 5 years. So what we did was during all our conversations and during this difficult time in the war, you know, a lot of us were questioning our purpose in life and where we stand and what it means for us moving forward, where our accountability lies as individuals who are educated and able to give back. So what we did was we came up with a concept of an online platform, which we thought would be good to be called GEM, because Gaza is a gem, and it's Gaza Educate Medics is the full name, and where we're going to go from there in terms of who we are. So we are organizations like PALMED, OXPAL, FQMS. You know, these are all people that I've been knocking on their doors. I'm sure they're probably annoyed by me, had plenty of messages by me over the time. I'm sure some of them even questioned if I sleep at night or not, but here we are. Individual doctors, individuals that have nothing to do with healthcare but want to support and be part of an initiative that allows rebuilding. So one of the things that stuck with me during the initial phases of the war was I joined the Zoom call in which Dr. Ghassan, the plastic surgeon from UK, was in that Zoom call with Steve from PCRF, the Palestinian Children Relief Fund. And in that call, one thing that stuck with me was his take-home message was, you might not be able to do something right now. You might feel like, you know, you're not able to put in the work and the time now, but I want you to be ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow will come. And I don't want you to be sitting there implementing your ideas at that point, putting stuff together at that point. When it comes, I want you to come in rolling so that we can get going ASAP. And that's something that stuck with me as a way of giving back and being part of something, and realizing that actually when you look at history and you look at occupiers, it's always targeted and purposely driven to wipe out the educated branch of society or a nation, because that's where the crippling effect comes from. So one of the things that stuck with me was, we know we need doctors in Gaza. We know doctors are, you know, amazingly trained, passionate, purposely driven, and Gaza needs doctors. How can we continue with that purpose and that mindset? So For me, what came forward was liberating an individual leads to liberation of a nation. So educating one doctor to fulfill that role is going to have a domino effect on the nation. And that is what our aim is to do, is to be able to give back to Gaza what it deserves in terms of the educational platforms, and the ability to thrive and survive through all of this. So what is our purpose? So again, we've done a lot of work around this, a lot of brainstorming, and what we've actually come to is what we really want to do is create a virtual medical university. So online platform called GEM. The platform will be following the curriculum of both of the medical schools in Gaza. So this is the Al-Azhar and the Islamic University of Gaza. Dr. Anwar, just add, the Dean of Islamic University of Gaza, sends his apologies. So he will be watching back the recording. And I'm glad that Dr. Zagbur is here, who I've also been bugging a lot through messaging. So thank you so much for being part of this. So the platform will be accredited and certified by the home universities. It will be interactive. It will be student focused. So we'll make sure that we give the best to the students. And it will fundamentally be the mainstream for education, because we know right now, in terms of physical presence, there is none. So now we have to think outside of the box, and a way that we keep both of these medical schools running and able to do what they do best. And this is our platform, in which is we hope that they will be part of this for the foreseeable future, until we know what the structure of future will look like moving forward. But this is our way of actually being able to give back what Gaza deserves. Now, what will it look like? So previously, during COVID, both the universities used Moodle as their virtual platform in order to, deliver education when we all went remote during the lockdown periods. So the platform that we are currently developing is also Moodle. Just a bit of background about the previous Moodle platform is linked to the IP addresses of the universities. So we've been having difficulty actually accessing the previous Moodle, because obviously, because of what's happening, the IP addresses don't actually exist anymore on the internet. So what we've done is we've collected a lot of the information and the content that was on the previous Moodle through faculty, assistants of the dean, wherever we can. We're getting all the previous modules, lectures, everything together, so that we have the baseline for the content, and then we can build on that. This will ensure that we're definitely covering the curriculums for both the universities, and it will make sure that we are going to cover from year 1 to year 6, because we know Gaza has approximately 2,500 medical students between both the universities. So in terms of mobilizing those students, moving them around, it doesn't make sense. The ideal is to, make sure that we are able to educate and deliver what we can to them, so that they've got progressive learning throughout the years. So on the curriculum, on the platform, we're going to have the assessment portals. It's going to be interactive, like I said, so students can check how they're driving, what they're doing, where they need help, what they can do to add to that. There'll be peer networking within the platform, where they can actually share notes, talk to one another, PBL learning, so they can actually bring cases together. And another arm that we're going to add to the platform, which I think is fundamental in the current climate that we live in, is mental health well-being. We've had lots and lots of psychologists that reached out to us that are really passionate about being part of this. So we will have, general lectures on dealing with trauma, insomnia, overall well-being, grief, and then workshops, as well as one-to-one mental health support to be delivered as well. And I think that is fundamental and vital in the current climate that we live in, especially for the future of doctors that we're producing, and hoping that, they're going to go out there in the world and give the best they can. We're also going to assign them them mentors, and the mentors will be twofold. One will be mentors at their own level from other universities. I'm glad to see that we've got students here from Cambridge, and they, showing their passion, because we were really appreciate students being engaged and having that one-to-one, as well as supervision from clinical experts within the modules that they'll be doing. And then the educational supervisors as well will be added on to this, so that we have really holistically looked after each student and given them exactly what they deserve in terms of their curriculum for their home university, as well as putting in international standards and well-being and holistic care. So in terms of long-term gains, why do we need to do this now? I mean, the question that we all ask ourselves is, what will it bring right now? The war is still ongoing. People are still starving. There is no internet. What is the point of having this conversation now? And I want to reiterate the point is we need to be prepared for the day that everything goes back to normal. We need to be able to run with it and give exactly what we want to do is give back to Gaza what it deserves in terms of education. And this is why our long-term gains are to start now on this platform, build towards it, and make it the main mode of education delivery for both the universities to come. Until we know what other models are going to be proposed, what other structures may be proposed, this is what we are going to propose and deliver, and actually suggest that it will probably continue as a add-on to their learning model, even when they do become physically institutionalized. So our main aim is that we want to engage the current faculty at the universities and the deans. We want this to be the hub, so that we are going to create it, we are going to implement it, we are going to make it live. But ultimately, the purpose and the aim is that when the medical schools are ready, we will hand it back to them. We will give them back what they deserve, and we want to give it to them back running, so there's no glitches, no issues at that point for them. This for me is like the most fundamental outcome, is to be able to revive and give back in terms of my purpose and ethos. I'm sure all of us are driven by our purpose and ethos in life, is to be able to give back what we believe they deserve. And actually what we're doing is we're safeguarding families that are dependent on the faculty's employment. We're safeguarding the university's existence in the world. We're safeguarding their name and existence on the WHO register in terms of recognized international universities, because we're giving a platform for them to be able to practice and implement and educate their students. In terms of what we are hoping to do is for the non-clinical years. So this is going to year 1 and 3. All of the modules and learning will be online, and it'll be delivered as per the curriculum outcome of the universities. Again, as I mentioned before, there will be interaction between the faculty and the students, whether it's like meet out rooms where they discuss scenarios, or they are looking at some lab work or some anatomy work. But this will be integrated into the interface of the platform. The assessments will be as per the requirements of the school, whether it's MCQs, written exams. So we will be guided by the schools, and we'll follow their models and just build on that. And what this will allow is progression through the years as per each school's outcomes. And then, looking at that, we will also make sure that we offer that extra support, academic growth, as well as holistic support for the early years. For the clinical years, so 4 to 6, so there are going to be 2 arms to this. As we know, there are some students that are displaced from Gaza at the moment, and most of them are in Egypt or other parts of the world. So for the displaced students that are from Gaza, year six is the current focus. Dr. Orhan in Turkey, who introduced himself earlier, has been working really, really diligently with the Islamic University of Gaza and also offered to work with Al Azhar in making sure that we can get these students electives and clinical attachments so that they are clinically engaged, whether it be in Turkey. We're also in discussion with universities in Jordan. So the good thing with this will be that the year six who are ready to become doctors, who are just on that last leg of their journey, are getting that clinical exposure and attachment that they need. What our platform will do is it'll form the backbone of it all. So the theoretical learning, the academics of it all, the reflective logs will all be on the GEM platform. The assessments will be on the GEM platform, which what allows the integration of both pathways. And this actually makes it easier for the home university to see everything on one portal and to be able to then say, yep, you meet the outcomes. Yes, you've done this. Yes, you've done that. Therefore, we're willing to accredit you based upon the combination of what you've done, and then you will hopefully get the final certification as part of your degree and able to progress on to the next level. So I think this is crucial, and I'm really happy that we're actually able to do that and willing to actually extend to have more universities come on board so that they are able to offer that clinical attachment, but they don't have to make that commitment to be able to sign off the final bit. The home university will do that through the platform. So again, we'll do a similar thing as we are doing now with the year sixes. We'll roll that out for all the displaced in year five and fours. And a lot of people are reaching out to lots of different universities. So it's promising that a lot of that stuff is coming together for us. And each day is as it comes, and we're just going with that. So I think the integration of the clinical and the theoretical will really add substance to what we want to do and what we want to deliver. Within Gaza, moving forward for the clinical years, there are lots of options that we can consider. We'll have the field hospitals that'll be there, so we can utilize them as part of our teaching for the clinical years, and extra pair of hands. I'm sure they'll be needed, and it's a good way of learning for them as well. We can also do electives. As they did before the war, really students were going off to lots of different universities in different parts of the world as part of their clinical training, and that is something that we can implement and build that back into the curriculum as the space allows and the situation allows. And then clinical workshops. I know Oxpal has done a lot of work around clinical workshops, virtual and emergencies, and they have a full bank of information that they will be sharing with us for the platform, so that students will always have that as a reference point. So whenever they want to look up anaphylactic shock or managing asthma or something, they've got that information there. They can quickly go in, check the emergencies outcome, add a video, taking blood, cannulas, all of this will be available to them as we go along. So looking ahead, so we've been really lucky, and with I think everybody passionately driven by purpose and liberation. We've had an IT company who has actually come forward and offered their time and expertise just for the love of Gaza and education. There's no financial gain or transactions happening here. So they are a South African company. Again, they send their apologies. They were hoping to join, but they have another meeting at this time. So in the next meeting, they will definitely be here. And we are working on the phase one of the online platform, which is what we've done is we've started with year six. And we have started with internal medicine. So we're putting everything together for internal medicine on the platform for both the universities. And we will share how that looks as an interface and what we want to do with that moving forward. Like I said, we are utilizing as much of the material that we already have, so that we are mirroring what the university would be delivering in real time at that point. If there are any gaps within the curriculum, then we will fill them in and actually standardize and internationally drive the curriculum so that we add that extra level and care to it. So what GEM really wants to do is create a wholesome platform that is going to deliver wholesome education, and it will lead to wholesome doctors, inshallah. This is what our aim is, and this is what we're working towards, and the liberation of the medical schools so that we are able to produce world-class doctors coming out of Gaza year in, year out, for the foreseeable future. So I'm really grateful for everybody coming together on this platform, and really what started off as an idea has really taken shape, and it's like a domino effect. One thing has just led to another, and what seemed like an ambitious idea now seems very achievable and doable with all of your support. So Dr. Lubani will talk you through the structural element, but if there's any questions for me, please feel free to add them in terms of what we need from you guys. I nearly missed the slide.
I will go
Yeah.
through that, Lubna, in my brief talk. So I will leave. We want to leave some time for discussion and interaction later on. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Lubna, for presenting the concept. Yes, Hussam.
There are three people
no.
that didn't introduce themselves. I just want to make you aware of that.
Thank you. We'll do that. Let's just finish the talks, and then we can introduce that. Thank you very much, Dr. Lubna. And if you can stop sharing, I can just share mine very quickly. So can you see this slide? Yeah. Sam, can you see the slide?
I can see the slide, yes.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Lubna, for the introducing the concept and the project. We have been, as part of PalMed Academy, have been working with Lubna and other interested academics on developing this project and taking it forward. And
sorry, Professor Lubani, I don't know, is it from my end or your voice is breaking?
Sorry, I'll try and speak more clearly and louder.
It's fine for all. It's fine for us, by the way.
That's fine. So, as I said, we've been working with, as PalMed Academy, with Dr. Lubna and other interested academics in developing this project and hopefully taking it forward. But obviously, this is a big project, and it needs to be organized and become operational. And the way we see it going forward, and this is the proposal that we had put forward, is that the whole scheme, the GEM scheme, will have an executive or a steering committee, but then we will need to form different committees within that. One will be the year leads and faculty committee. The second one would be an IT committee. Can everybody please mute themselves?
Dr. Abtawi,
so the second committee will be the IT committee. We will need an assessment and evaluation committee, a student engagement and mentorship committee, module recovery and design committee, as well as a committee to work on clinical placements. The clinical leads and faculty committee will be the biggest one, and that will require the most number of people to be involved and engaged in that. And within that committee, we will have a lead for each of the years from year 1 to year 6. And with the lead, they'll have obviously a team of faculty members, volunteers who are prepared to teach, who are prepared to put some time aside to mentor the students and teach them as they go along through the different modules and through the different sections of the. Can everybody mute themselves, please? Through the different modules. Can everybody Can everybody mute themselves, please? Through the different models. So this group, this committee will be the biggest of all of the committees. And as I say, it will include the faculty. And the faculty, not just us, but we will try and get as many of the faculty of Al-Azhar University and the Islamic University involved in this as a big group with us volunteers to help deliver the teaching. So the overall overarching committee will have oversight of the whole project, ensure all potential collaborative efforts are included, gains accreditation from the universities, and this has already been done. And obviously it will involve the deans from both institutions and or representatives, and it will make national and international representations of the scheme. The year leads and faculty committee, as I say, each lead will co-opt members to help deliver the teaching material aligned to the curriculums. The lead for each year will identify tutors and faculty to deliver this teaching. And the leads will ensure that previous content is utilized as much as possible. But if there are gaps in the curriculum that we don't have teaching materials for, then they will, with their faculty volunteers, create content or try and source content if it's available elsewhere from another source that they can utilize. And the leads will set a schedule for delivery of the teaching for the students to be able to follow it easily. The Module Recovery and Design Committee is recover any learning material from the Gaza universities available online, and we have done some of that, but it's not full and complete. So their job will be to try and recover as much of the teaching material as possible, and as I said, to also help the leads in designing modules for that are missing, that are not covered by whatever has been recovered. The IT committee will be responsible for the platform, and as Dr. Lubna had said, we have the GT advisory who will help with us, but the IT committee people will work with the GT advisory company to ensure that it looks right and it is usable and that it has all the material that is required, uploaded according to years of study, and then to be able to reflect the progress of the students through the curriculum. We will also need a student engagement and mentorship committee, and this will be their job will be to identify all the students remaining in Gaza or outside of Gaza and establish means of contact with them and be able to means of dissemination of information to them, and also devise and implement a peer-to-peer mentorship scheme. We already have a nucleus of that was developed by Ilana Chen, who is a member of the original committee, but she unfortunately sent her apologies for today. So, and this is to support the students as they go through their teaching. We will need to have an assessment and evaluation committee that can check on the progress of the students by either designing certain assessments, providing evaluation, if required, examinations, to ensure that the students are making progress through the curriculum and are learning and are achieving what milestones they should be achieving. It will also provide them with support through educational and clinical supervisors. And the final committee is the Clinical Placements Committee. And this is the committee that will be tasked with identifying clinical placements for the clinical years. As Dr. Lubna has mentioned, there are potentials in the field hospitals, there are potentials in the region around Gaza, in Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, and if this committee's job will be to work on that to try and identify these opportunities and then work with the clinical year leads to assign students for the different placements that they've identified. obviously, there are people who are already working on such things, and they would be ideally placed in such a committee. What I'm going to do after this meeting is send this registration form to everybody and anybody who is interested, and you can please pass it on to anybody also you think might be interested. It will just ask for basic information about who you are and what educational experience or post you have, and also which part of the scheme you want to be involved in. But as I said, the biggest requirement will be for the year leads and faculty committee. And I encourage as many people to go for that. But if somebody has an interest in IT or have a special expertise in that, please do, in module design, student engagement, whatever field that you are most suited to and you want to contribute through, you can take that, and you can take more than one if you wish to. Or if you feel that there is something else missing that we could be adding, please do. So it is a major effort required here, but it's for a worthwhile cause. So I'm sure we're all prepared to put in the effort for this, and everybody can contribute. And we will use their talent as we go forward. We're happy to collaborate with any projects that are started or starting or ongoing, and the steering committee job will be to make contact with anything that is going or starting or ongoing, and to basically work together to achieve the best thing for the medical students in Gaza and the medical schools in Gaza. And as Dr. Lubna said, one of the major aims for us is to preserve the medical schools in Gaza, keep them going, keep the students supported until hopefully the situation improves. This is my email address, and anybody can email me to if they require any further information. Now, the last thing I will propose, and this is how we're going to start our discussion, but I will leave that proposal for the steering committee members, but I will leave that until after I give the floor to Dr. Masharka, who is the chair of the PALMED Europe, and he's been supporting us through this project. Dr. Masharka.
Thank you very much, Professor Lubani, for this very interesting presentation, and thank you for Dr. Lubna. I would also like to thank everybody for attending this meeting. I said before, we know that there is a lot of effort to work for Palestine in the past and at the present, but all what we need to, try to unite these efforts. One of the projects, PALMED, through the PALMED Academy is working on is this project. And this is a vital project because it's the future. There are 2,500 medical students. I don't know if all of you know that. And unfortunately, they are now facing, I don't know how to describe it, facing something unpredictable. And we heard about a lot of effort from different places, but we haven't seen any genuine, except something I come across today by chance, that the Ministry of Higher Education in the West Bank is advertising to the medical colleges to help those students. And I think it's worth communicating with them, Professor Lubani, to see that we can support in that effort, if it is a genuine and, if this is something real. Because I just advertised, it came in one of the group, and it is very recent. It's just about 2 days or 3 days back. And I don't know if it is only for the medical student or it's a general advertise for all the students in Gaza. I would like really to thank our colleagues who are working in the Rebuilding Gaza initiatives. So Professor Latouf and many of the consultants are here with us. And I think this is a good opportunity that, you know, it will be like a starting point for collaboration in this project. I think they were thinking almost when I was in the meeting last week of something similar to what we are proposing. And I told them that I'll put them in touch with you. And it was a good opportunity that this meeting came. Again, you know, there is a lot of difficulties. I don't want to put any obstacles, but I know that there will be a lot of difficulty. But I think we have good potential to take this project far and succeed. And I think, you know, a lot of people who did not attend this meeting today because of maybe short notice, they will be interested. I came across a number of professors in my hospital, and they, I mean, they are very interesting, and I'm sure there will be a lot. So we need to find a way to involve everybody in this project. We have a lot of people interested in teaching and in educations, and they are all pioneer in their field. So we need to find a link to engage everybody in this. I don't want to take more of your time. We want to hear from everybody. Just last thing, because I noticed there are a huge number of colleagues who are not from Balmed, or I mean, they don't know Balmed. Balmed Europe is Palestinian Medical Association in Europe, and the Balmed Academy is one of the, you know, affiliated organization formed by the Balmed, and it's specialized on the educations. And before this war started, Professor Lubani and the crew, they were planning to start a lot of education programs to develop subspecialty in Palestine and to enhance the existing specialties by getting some people for fellowships, by sending some delegation to teach specialized procedures. And now we face this situation, and we are trying to cope with what happened to the medical student in Gaza. We have across Europe 8 branches, and you know, every branch operates independently on almost, but we have a committee which coordinates, and we do activities. Mainly we were focusing in education and continuous education, but we send delegation, we send equipment, we send medicine when it is needed. We also contribute with big projects, you know, like equipping the hospitals. And also we have done some small projects for the medical students in mainly in Islamic University, and also the doctors who were unable to practice in Gaza. We also built some education center, which we call it Haya Center, which was meant to train BLS, ALS, ATLS, disaster management. And we were, just before this war started, we were planning to introduce David Nutt Foundation course, which is the HEST course. And unfortunately, you know, what happened now delayed this. Thank you very much for everybody. And I just want to give the floor back to Professor Lubani so that we hear more from you.
Thank you very much for introducing Palmed, and also for your support, which has been invaluable so far in taking this project to the stage we're at the moment. So I would like to, first of all, there are some people that joined us later. If Hussam could identify them and ask them to introduce themselves,